Good day, wonderful students. My name is Akinjagunla Oluwaseun, your biology teacher. Today, I'll be taking you through a very interesting topic in biology. I want you to sit back, listen, and at the end of the class, feel free to ask some questions. See you at the end of the lesson.
Today's topic is transport in plants. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to define the concept of transpiration and translocation. 2. Describe the process of transpiration. 3. Describe structures involved in transport. 4. Explain factors that affect the rate of transpiration. 5. Measure the rate of transpiration in plants. And finally, number 6, describe the concept of the source and the sink. So I'm sure by now you know that complex organisms such as common plants and animals are made up of billions of individual cells, and they must all be supplied with adequate amounts of food, water, as well as oxygen. Also, toxic waste such as urea, carbon dioxide must be moved out of the cells surrounding them in order for the cells to remain alive and working. The movement of materials is coordinated by the transport system. In plants, the vascular bundles make up the transport system. The vascular bundles consist of the xylem, which transports water, the phloem, which conducts manufactured food. So let's start with the transport of water in plants. Plants' root hair cells take up water by osmosis in the soil or wherever they find themselves. Water molecules then diffuse through several layers of cortex cells before reaching the xylem vessels. With the help of forces such as the transpiration pull, cohesive force, and adhesive force, water is moved upward in the leaves where water is needed for photosynthesis. In the leaf, water diffuses into the individual mesophyll cells. Excess water evaporates and leaves or exits the leaf through an opening called the stomata into the atmosphere. Transpiration is therefore the loss of water from the aerial parts of the plant, especially the leaves. Water is essential in plants. Of course, we know that. But how? Water is used to make food or glucose. Water in plant cells makes them turgid, keeping them erect. As you can see in the screen, you can see an erect plant and a plant that is wilting. When plant cells have adequate water, the cells become flaccid and the plant begin to wilt, just like you can see on the screen. Root hair cells take up water by osmosis. Absorbed water molecules diffuse through a few layers of cortex cells until it reaches the xylem vessel. Water moves up the xylem vessels by 3 key forces that we mentioned earlier: the transpiration pull, capillary force, and the adhesive force. Water soon reaches the leaves where they are used to make glucose by the mesophyll cells, of course. Excess water from the photosynthesis remain as a film on the surface of the mesophyll cells, which later evaporates as vapor into the intercellular spaces and then out of the leaves through an open stomata. The figure below shows the position of the vascular bundles, xylem and phloem within the stem and roots of monocots and dicot plants. Measuring transpiration. The device, as you can see on the screen, is used to measure the amount of water lost by plants during transpiration. This device is called a potometer. The rate of transpiration can be calculated by measuring the distance traveled by an air bubble in the capillary tube of the potometer over a given time. With this, we can determine factors that may increase the rate of transpiration or decrease it. The faster and greater the distance the air bubble moves, the faster and the greater the rate of transpiration. There are several factors that affect the rate of transpiration. In other words, factors that affect the amount of water lost from the surface of a plant. The weather condition of an area surrounding plants primarily determines how much water is lost by transpiration. The following are key factors. 1. Wind speed. From the graph displayed, the greater the wind speed, the faster the loss of water from the surface of the leaf. Number 2, humidity. Unlike in the previous graph, there's an inverse relationship here. The greater the humidity, the less the rate of water loss. And you must remember that humidity refers to the amount of water available in the atmosphere. Number 3, light intensity. The presence of light makes plants to open up their stoma in order to make food. Since the stoma are open, water evaporates through them, leading to a greater water loss. So the more the light intensity, the more water is likely to be lost by the plant. And number 4, finally, temperature. The higher the temperature, the faster water evaporates and the faster it diffuses out of the leaf into the atmosphere. Water is not the only material that is moved in plants. Also, manufactured food needs to be moved. That brings us to the concept of translocation. Translocation is the movement of manufactured food in form of sucrose, amino acids, etc. in the phloem. Translocation ensures food gets to all plant cells in order to provide energy for continual growth and reproduction. Translocation is often defined as the movement of manufactured food from source to sink. The source refers to where the food is synthesized or stored, while the sink refers to the areas in the plant where the food is consumed. Most of the time, the leaves act as the source, while the other tissues of the plant act as the sink. However, in other times, depending on the season, this might change. For example, in spring, the leaves are actually actively photosynthesizing and they act as the source, while the storage organs such as the fruits and roots act as the sink. While in the winter, the leaves are off. Therefore, the storage organs move nutrients to the developing leaf buds and stems. The storage organ in this situation acts as the source, while the developing buds act as the sink.
You're welcome back. I hope you learned a thing or two. Feel free to send in your comments and questions. And until next time, we have another important topic to discuss. Have a lovely day.